Hi there. If you are even thinking about selling your home now or in the near future, this video is for you. We are going to go over market trends, pricing and preparing your home, inspections and contingencies, and the costs associated with selling your home. I'm Jenn Rosenow with Edina Realty. I grew up down the road in Amory, Wisconsin, and I've currently lived in Osceola for 25 plus years. I know the area. I live here, I raise my family here, and I work here. I'm going to help you make a good strategy to sell your home. The first thing we're going to discuss are market trends. So currently, as you probably know, it is a seller's market. But it is dangerous to say, let's just try this price first, because the first 7 to 10 days is the most important. That's when you're going to get the views on your home. And if you price your property too high, buyers are going to see that right away, and they're not going to turn around and look at your house again. They're going to wait and try to find something down the road that's similar, that's more reasonably priced, that is comparable to all the other houses that are going for sale. And then if you leave it on the market for too long, and then you lower the price, it's already too late, because now people are saying, what's wrong with that house? So pricing is very important. Okay, let's spend a couple of minutes on preparing your house to sell. You want to wash all the windows, inside and out. You want to open up all the curtains and blinds, because a brighter home is more welcoming and it seems cleaner. Turnkey homes typically sell at a premium price, and they sell quicker than a house that someone needs to sell as is. We can do as is, but just so you know, turnkey, you usually sell quicker. You want to declutter your home. You want to take all your personal items out of there that you can, your family photos, things with your name on it, because you want to have the buyers be able to visualize them moving in there, them living there. They don't want to feel like they're walking into somebody else's home. You want to remove any excess furniture, any clutter, to make it seem cleaner and larger. Okay, let's talk about showings when a potential buyer wants to see your home. How that works is that we have a system online that the other realtor or myself who is bringing in a buyer through will make an appointment. And what that's going to do is that's going to text you, and you can either confirm or deny the appointment, or Y for yes. Most of the time, we do try to give a lot of notice, but sometimes, unfortunately, there isn't that much notice. I would encourage you to always try to get them in as soon as they can. If you can't, we can always try to reschedule. And then after the showing, we ask for feedback. And with that feedback, I will pass it on to you, so you know how the showing went. Okay, let's talk about the real estate condition report. This is a form that you're going to fill out when you list your house that we provide to other realtors for them to discuss with their buyers. What it is, it asks for any defects that you have knowledge of in your house. And it has a whole bunch of lists for you to go through to jog your memory. You want to be completely honest on this report as possible. So even if during an inspection, they find some of these things wrong, they can't negotiate because you've already disclosed it. That brings us to the home inspection contingency. That is a contingency that your buyers may write into the offer. Not all, but a lot do. That they want a home inspector to come in. That would be a licensed home inspector. And they're going to look for every flaw that they can find in your house and disclose it to the buyers, which is good. You want your buyers to not be surprised when they move into your home. But that is a contingency. So when they do find things, we want to talk about more major things. They may ask you to repair it. They may negotiate the price, but it is ultimately up to you how far you want to go. But you do expect that this will happen. And it is very normal. So you are emotional to your house, and you're probably defensive and protective about your house. Buyers are not emotional. They are not attached to your house yet. So I'm going to help you try to figure out more logically, not as emotionally on how to do this. So they might, if you're in the country, they might ask for a well and septic inspection as well, and a water test as well. And again, they're going to have licensed contractors come out and check it out for you. Typically, the buyers will pay for these inspections, and every home has issues. Even yours will have issues, and even brand new homes will have issues, but we just use it for negotiation. Another contingency you will see a lot of is financing contingencies, because that's the buyer has to borrow the money to purchase your home. And with the financing contingency is an appraisal contingency. An appraisal will come out hired by the bank, the buyer through the bank, to make sure that they are loaning the correct value on your home. Okay, in the offer, they're going to ask for a certain closing date. If they are getting a loan for financing, usually it's going to be 30 to 45 days, because it takes a loan officer that long to get all their paperwork in, all their documents verified, and they want to have the appraisal and all the inspections in. You can do a cash closing in as little as 2 weeks, but that's not as common as 30 to 45 days. And that leads us into the costs associated with selling your home. The buyers may ask you to pay for some of their lender fees, which is fine. What you're going to concentrate mainly on are your seller proceeds, not necessarily the number they wrote in the offer. We're going to concentrate on what you're actually going to walk away with. And we're going to talk about that when you first list your home. And then again, we'll go over it again when you get an actual offer and we narrow it down more. Because they may ask you to pay their lender fees. They may ask you to pay repairs on the house. You'll have to pay your property taxes from January 1st to the day before closing. And the title company is going to just take that out of your proceeds and attribute it to the buyers, because the buyers will be the one responsible when the bill comes at the end of the year. You'll have to pay the title fees for the title company. They're going to wrap it all up and put a bow on your property to hand it over to the buyers to make sure there's no liens on it. And they're going to record it with the county for you. They're going to do all the legal paperwork. You're going to have to pay realtor commission fees, and that could be split between the agent that actually lists your house and the agent that brings in a buyer to sell your house. So when you're doing this whole thing, every homeowner is emotional. They're attached to their home. They have so many memories there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring it in and bring in the objective opinions on all this stuff. But I want to do it for you, what works best for you. So if you're even a little curious on how much your house will sell for, or this process at all, give me a call. This is just a way high overview, and we'll talk about it more in detail. But give me a call at 651-261-7805. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.